Fellow auto detailers, welcome to the show that features interviews with today's most successful auto detailers. This is the Auto Detailing Podcast. Here's your host, Jimbo Balaam.
All right, welcome to this episode of the Auto Detailing Podcast. Pete, I normally record from my mobile recording studio, but today we're in your mobile recording studio.
The last hands to detail this car were yours.
That's right. Ooh, I hope that gets picked up.
You know, the mic is really good, so I don't know. Here, let me throw it in neutral real quick and. Oh yeah.
Pete, what are we in right now?
We are in the Dodge Charger with the V8. This is not the Hellcat. I do kind of wish I'd gotten the Hellcat, but
Okay.
you gotta understand, like, is that a cop? No. Okay, good. So my wife, I was like, after I just screwed around in my car, my wife. Okay, we needed to get a new car. I got two kids, a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old, and so we needed a new car because I had a Mustang. You know that, right?
Yep. We did the pre-sale detail on it, and I did a video.
It's been featured on your
It's
YouTube
been
channel.
featured on my YouTube channel,
and
which people gave me crap about, and I'm like,
what do they give you crap about?
just
for?
random stuff like, oh, well, you didn't do that. It's like customer expectation versus, your expectation.
I sold it.
You sold it. And
like
made
in
money.
3 days after
Exactly.
it was done. That's all I cared
That's
about.
my argument. Thank you.
I mean, it's a freaking pre-sale detail.
Coming from the customer, so that's what counts. Anyway.
Like I give a crap, right? So anyway, that was a 2-door car. And we were fine when we only had one kid because, it was a little bit inconvenient, but not like majorly inconvenient. Right. But now that we got two, it's like, okay, well, we need to put 2 car seats in and, getting them in and out, all that stuff. So we were looking at SUVs, and really we were looking at the Ford Explorer because people who know me know I am really, I believe the correct term is frugal, but cheap is the word that I usually use to describe it.
Cheap.
Dude, I totally am cheap. Because what we really want is a Land Rover because that like fits my ego.
Yep.
But to me, it's like such a waste of money because
huge waste of money.
Literally, I don't go anywhere. So I went. I was driving around the Ford Explorer. I'm like, I kind of like it. It's good. Whatever. And then I'm like, I'm just gonna get into the Dodge Charger to see how I like it.
Oh, it was an accident.
And I was like, there's no freaking way I'm getting an SUV. So I sold my wife that this is a family car.
Got it.
I'm like, it's 4-door.
Yeah, you got 2 car seats in the back.
2 car seats in the back, man. Come on. What else you want?
And it worked. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, we're doing the podcast here. We've got a great marketing strategy that we'll share. But I will say we're on our way.
Yes.
To a very specific destination. Where are we going?
Are we actually going to talk about it?
I think we should tell them.
Well,
it's the only thing I care about right now.
And I want to make it clear this is a business meeting, Pete.
That's right. So when your wife listens to this podcast, this is a business meeting.
We are strategizing for the Detailer Inner Circle right now.
Wait. Where can I find more about the Detailer?
The DetailerInnerCircle.com.
What?
I know. Great place to go. Anyway, so we're strategizing for that. She doesn't know that we're strategizing at the gun range.
I mean,
we got to go to the gun range.
I'm just saying.
We got to go to the gun range.
Now, for everyone who listens to this who's not in California, they'll be like, what's the big deal? It's the gun range.
Yeah, I go in my backyard and shoot guns.
Because you can do that like in the rest of the,
Right.
the civilized America.
Right.
But in California...
Especially Orange County.
Well, Southern California, it's like, we got to go to a range. So it's actually an indoor range. And we are taking my new toy there, which is a long gun, shall we say. For those of you that are into guns, the old 5.56, and that's what this is. So, that's what we're going to go.
So we're strategizing and having fun at the same time.
I forgot the targets, man.
Do we need those? Or can we?
Yeah, we'll buy some there, but I have good targets.
Oh, we could circle back.
Nah,
We're
I
still
don't want to
close.
circle back. This is kind of like your podcast. We're on the road. We're halfway to the range. We're going.
We're going.
So,
I love recording podcasts in the car, though, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like things just start flowing and you get good information.
So that's where we're going. We're going to go kill some targets with the AR-15. And I think because I'm a member there, I get free gun rentals. I'm gonna rent a 1911 because I kind of want to. I'm trying to decide. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to buy.
Pete's planning for the apocalypse.
Dude, I am so gearing. Like, you have no idea. This week, yesterday actually, I finally placed my order. For guys who are gun guys, they'll understand what I'm talking about.
You're getting a bunker in the backyard?
Dude, that's already happened. It's already there. What are you talking about? I just ordered two 80%, a 308 and a 556. Gun guys will know what I'm talking about. But basically,
I have zero idea what you're talking about.
This is what I was telling you about the other day. It allows you to build your own gun.
You found it. You found one that you liked.
I found, yeah.
Okay.
'Cause you know what it was?
What's that?
Someone finally
That's going to be your next car, Pete. Freaking military vehicle.
We're right by a military base. It's freaking awesome. What it is someone finally did what I freaking teach everyone to do. They were doing education-based marketing.
Right.
They had
Why don't you tell them that story about you went to, because I think it's applicable to detailing, and what we teach detailers to do is you went in a different industry, but you went to a gun show with cash in your pocket looking to buy a gun.
Yep.
Like the best customer anyone could ask for.
I went to the bank, I pulled out $1,500, which, as you guys know, is way more than you need for an 80%. But I was like, dude, I want everything. I don't want to worry about money. And because I'm like in the mood, I'm like, and I don't want the government knowing who I bought it from and what I did with my money, so I'm paying cash. I have no idea where it is.
Why I'm like, why'd you pull cash out? I'm like, okay.
I don't want the government knowing. Okay. I don't know what the hell is happening to me. I've become like this total like prepper.
Right.
So
I noticed you took the license plates off your car too. I'm just kidding. Like I shaved down the VIN numbers.
It's a different license plate. I can flip of a button.
Yeah,
hit
this button.
So I'm at the gun show. I'm like the ideal customer. I got a pocket full of cash. I am looking to buy, and I'm going to talking to all the guys at all their booths. You know, definitely paying special attention to everyone that's got the 80%ers. That's what they're called, because it's 80% of the gun is completed, but it's not considered a gun according to the ATF. So that's why you're able to just buy it cash, and then you finish it, and that's totally legal. Even in California, which is like the state that hates guns. It's totally legal for you to finish it, and now it's yours. No one knows you've got it. Totally legit gun. And so I'm talking to these guys, and dude, I'm like, first of all, I'm a marketing guy, so that's how I see the world. Marketing and sales is how I see the world. And I'm talking to like this one guy. I'm like, hey, you know, why don't you do this or that, or you know, and his excuse was, oh, we're so busy. We don't have time to make videos to show people how to do all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm standing at your booth, and I'm the only one standing at your booth, and you're trying to swear to me how busy you are. I'm like, it's BS. Like, one of the things that we talk about in the Detailer Inner Circle is education-based marketing. So we give everyone the consumer guides, and it's called education-based marketing because it's meant to educate people, but it is totally marketing. It's meant to get them to buy from you. And I'm like...
Which is exactly what I've done with the podcast, right?
Yes.
So even the podcast in and of itself is a form of education-based marketing. No one is paying to listen to this information. Right? This is free information, and you figure... But it sucks people into your circle, right? Or your funnel, or whatever you want to call it. And then from there, you can monetize with things like the Detailer Inner Circle.
Right. Yep.
Just for clarification.
Which you can find all about at detailerinnercircle.com.
That's a great website.
It's even better when you join. So anyway...
what were we talking about?
Education-based marketing.
Yeah, we were.
So, I mean, here's the other thing, too. Like, you need to learn as a detailer, if you don't know this already, you need to learn when you go in for the sale.
Right.
And, you know, for lack of a better term, when you take someone down. And I mean that, like, not in a negative, hey, I'm ripping them off, but...
When you ask them, are you ready to sign up an appointment?
Right. Like,
can I schedule you in?
My favorite closing line is, this makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Like, to me, that's just so natural, so non-threatening. And if they go, yeah, it makes sense, great. I got some time on Thursday afternoon, or I got some time Friday morning. Which one's going to work better for you, right? Go right in for the...
Which is so much better than... Think about the traditional ways that most detailers will try to drum up work, right? They're going door to door. They're dropping flyers on windshields. They're dropping cards on windshields. And what I try to tell people, and what working with you, Pete, has really opened my eyes to, is like, everyone is not your customer. Right? You don't want to go after everyone, and that's really what dropping business cards on windshields does, right? You're really becoming an annoyance more than anything, so you're wasting your time, and you're wasting that person's time, and really probably pissing them off because they're not looking for you.
Right.
They're not interested in your service. But when you flip over to educational-based marketing, you're by the nature of it, you're targeting people that are looking for more information on guns or detailing or whatever you're talking.
Right.
This, I guess, detailing for the sake of this conversation. So, by the nature of what you're trying to do, your customers that are looking for you are already your target customers. So you're only finding customers that are interested.
Right.
And then from there, pricing and stuff like that can come into play. But you're going after people that are looking for what you have to offer, not the other way around.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And so, I mean, when you've got someone who's putting up what I call the buying signs, like in detailing, to me, that would be when someone asks, well, what's this cost? That's a buying sign, right? They're at the point in their mind where they just want to know the price, and then it's a yes or no. So when someone's giving you buying signs, you need to learn, okay, now is the time to stop selling and to start writing the order. In other words, setting the appointment. When am I coming out? If you keep going on about how great your clay bar is,
right,
and the sealant you're going to be putting on, okay, you're walking past the sale.
And that was like what they were doing with you you told me they were doing at the gun show. Dude. They wanted to talk about how crappy the California laws were.
Oh my gosh, that just so annoyed me.
Yeah, when it's like, and I could see how detailers could get wrapped up in like, well, let me tell you how good I am.
Right.
Or how good my services are. Or they get wrapped up in their own ego or their own agenda, I guess would be a more fitting word. And that's like the guys at the gun show. They were getting so caught up in the politics of it that they forgot that you don't care because you just want a gun.
Well, and the other thing too is it's like, okay, especially with the gun world, we're in California. We all know they're stupid.
Right. What are we going to do about it?
But so why are we wasting our time talking about it? Tell me what is now legal and what is not legal, so that way I'm not doing anything illegal. Believe me, I don't want freaking ATF or anyone bursting into my house.
Definitely.
So, just get off of that crap and just tell me, what do I do to be compliant with the law? That's all I want. Be California compliant. They actually have AR-15s that are called California compliant. And that's what we're going to go shoot today.
All right.
It's totally compliant. In fact, my range will not let you shoot anything that is not compliant because they don't want to lose their business.
Right.
So, but it's the same thing with detailing. Yeah, you're right, because guys are like, oh, these guys on the internet, they don't know what they're doing. And it's like, shut up.
The customer doesn't even know that.
The customer doesn't know it. The customer doesn't care.
Right.
Just, go on with what you're doing. So anyway, the guys who I ended up buying my 80% stuff from, so I bought, the jig. Dude, I bought everything.
So how much did you end up spending with them?
Dude. Well, with them specifically right now, because I haven't bought my uppers.
Okay.
But
you will go back to these people because of their marketing.
The uppers I don't necessarily need to.
Okay.
So, but I spent $650 with them right now.
Right.
For like,
but do you think you'll continue to go back to
100%?
Okay.
Because here's the thing, man. When it comes to like building your own gun, think about it. I'm going to be putting a live round in this thing and firing it. I do not want to die.
Right.
And I am not what I would call a handy guy.
Right.
I'm a marketer.
Right.
Like, I don't know the first dang thing about building crap like a gun.
Right. I just noticed we must have been getting close to a gun range because the
everything changed.
Everything just changed. Our surroundings just got a little rougher.
Dude, you got the guy over here on his fat boy. So anyway, what got me is they were the first ones who had well done videos showing here's how you use our equipment to make your gun an actual gun, but basically going from 80% to 100%.
Right.
And I was looking at that going, that is, it's so easy for me, like even a guy like me to do, I'm in.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm buying from you guys. Clearly you know what you're doing. You've put together these great videos that show me step by step how to do this.
Yep.
And here was the other thing, like the type of metal that your gun is made out of is a big deal, right? I don't want the dang thing blowing up on me.
Right.
So they had education-based marketing. Here's the different types of metals. Here's what's good about it. Here's what's bad about it.
Interesting.
Here's what ours are, so that way you can kind of compare. And they had a couple of different types, so that way you can go, okay, well, here's the pros and the cons.
Right.
Kind of like how we do with sealants and coatings. Yep. Like, what's the difference between the two? You know, you talk about here's the pros, here's the cons. That way someone knows which option they want.
Yep.
They so part of what this particular company recommends that you do, their jigs, which is what it's called, that like holds what's called your lower receiver in place, so that way you can drill out all the holes that you need to drill out. They use a router. I've never used a router. What the heck do I know about routers, man, dude?
Yep.
That's what I freaking hire people for.
Right.
They had, I kid you not, a blog post on here's all the routers that we've used and we've rated them, 1 out of 10 for each one. So all I did was go, okay, which one do you rate 10 out of 10? All right, that's the one I'm using.
Right.
And then they go, okay, so if you're going to use this router, here's the option kit that you want from I'm like, dude, that's what I want then.
Right.
And I was like, why aren't these other guys doing it? Why are the guys at the gun show sitting there going, oh, we're too busy to do anything? It's
because on the outset, it looks like a lot of wasted time.
It probably does to them.
Like, why are we going to do that? And that's why I told you, like, it sounds like one of those, like really, like, we've always done it this way.
Right.
Or like, we're so busy right now. And it's like, okay, but what about when you're not busy?
Right.
Like, what's going to happen then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what I think. Yeah, on the outset, it looks like now Pete is taking me behind a fence. This doesn't. Okay.
This because it's technically on this street, but I don't want to go into that street.
Okay.
That's when you're in deep Stanton, as I like to call it.
Yeah. So, you gotta invest in the upfront time that it's going to take to do it, but the dividends that it's going to pay are massive.
Yeah.
Right. Even with the podcast, like, to bring it back, it's like I didn't make any money off the podcast for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I knew that it would eventually pay dividends, and now it has, right?
Right.
So, began to. So, you really have to take the upfront investment to take the time to do it, because it does take time. Blog posts take time.
Yep.
Videos take a lot of time.
Or you could just join the Detailer Inner Circle, and we'll just give you everything.
And that's the punchline.
Oh, okay.
Right? Just
didn't mean to ruin it for you.
Just join the Inner Circle, and because that was going to be my next thing. You could pay people to write blog posts for you. You could pay people to do videos for you. And that'll help propel you faster. Or you could just join the Detailer Inner Circle, and we have all that done for you, so you can become that authority
and
in your
a client generating website. Like, that's the thing that just kills me, is when we've got guys who go, oh, well, I really need a website that'll get me clients, but I'm like, dude, join the circle.
That's it. Because the people that have set up their website have gotten clients that week.
It's crazy. It's because one of us knows how to market.
And one of us
knows how to detail. Well, no, you know how to detail. So it's like combining those two together. Right. That's why you guys get such great stuff. But we're here at the range, so
gotta go.
We are so going to go blow the crap out of some targets.
Yep. But go to detailerandercircle.com.
All right, guys. Bye.
See ya.
All right, so now we're here at the range.
Pete, what do you got?
This right here is our Glock 17.
Okay.
Because I haven't fired this.
Okay. And this is my first time really shooting, so. Okay.
Now we're hot, baby.
All right. Bullseye.
So that's what we do, baby. That's how we waste some money right there. So
there you go.
That was a little break for you here on the podcast. You know what? I'll bring them back when we do the AR-15.
Okay.
That'll be nice and loud. All right, so Jimbo just fired the AR-15 for his first time.
Yeah. That's a fun. But it's a little, because of the California restriction back here, not super uncomfortable to hold, but I could see how it'd be more comfortable if you could hold the pistol grip.
If you could actually put your thumb
put your thumb around it, it would be more comfortable, which is probably why they have the stupid law. But
I think they have the stupid law because they're stupid. But
well, that's true. But it would be a lot more. It's not uncomfortable to hold. It would just be more comfortable to hold if you could put your thumb around it. But that's one hell of a thing.
So we don't want you guys to miss out.
Yeah, we're all about the detailing.
And see, so when you have all the carbon on your car and you need to clean it off,
carbon buildup on your brakes.
There you go.
It's no different.
There you go,
That's
baby.
that.
There you go.
Are we doing a whole nother episode, Peter, or just continuing on?
I say just continue.
Okay, so we're just continuing. We're just leaving the gun range, and if any of the
Quickest way to blow through money.
Yeah.
Loudest way, maybe. There we go. Loudest way to blow through money.
Loudest way to blow through money, for sure. Wow. What an experience. So that was my first time.
Is that ever your first time shooting?
So the only other time I can remember kind of shooting would be like on Christmas at my uncle's house when I was like 8.
Oh, yeah.
Get on it.
I mean, you're leaving the gun range. You got to let them know you're leaving. I really hope the mic picked that up.
I think it did. That's why I stopped talking and I started watching the levels. So, no, in recent memory, that would be the first time shooting guns.
And we met an interesting character.
An interesting character, which...
This guy had, like... I don't even know how many guns he brought with him.
He had the whole kit and caboodle.
And he had, like, every attachment you could fit on an AR-15. I was like, dude, I'm not even sure I can lift the gun. There's so many things on this.
I'm like, what am I looking through?
I know, right?
Like, and some of them were cool. Most
of
them,
I thought his AR was cool, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that thing. And there was
a different sound than yours.
Because he's got a different version of California compliance going on. He's got the fixed magazine, which means he can have the extra stuff on the muzzle that I can't because I've got what's called a featureless AR-15.
Okay.
But anyway, that's a guy who, interesting thing, what he did, every time he buys a new gun, he goes and he does private coaching with one of the gun instructors, gets 2 hours with them, and the guy walks him through everything he needs to know. He goes, it's the best $150 I spent. I've gone and talked to Michael 10 times now, so I'm like, okay, you got 10 guns at least. We know that. And, but my actual reason for bringing that up is, see, people want that education.
Right.
That's what they're after.
Right. He could sit there and learn the gun himself.
He could go on YouTube, which is what we were even joking about. We all do it. But yet he still wants the professional. It's the same way with detailers.
Right.
Yeah, someone can go on to YouTube and look at it all. But at the end of the day, I want to go to a detailer and go, look, dude, you're the expert.
Just tell me what I need.
Exactly.
And that is such the disconnect. In fact, I was talking to a guy today that wants to come in for some training or learn how to detail better or whatever. Lost my train of thought.
It wasn't important, though. You had a guy coming in, he wanted to learn.
Yeah, but he that's where training can really just, accelerate your growth, right?
It's shortcuts.
Sorry, I remember what I was going to say. So I was telling him I'm hesitant to have guys come around and train with me because detailing in reality is a lot different than detailing on the internet.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of people will, you can learn one thing on the internet, whether it's guns or how to detail or how to market or whatever, and then it's a whole nother thing to go sit down with a professional and learn it, right?
Yeah.
Because, and really what I was trying to tell him was like, the reality of detailing isn't what people say it is on the internet. And the unique aspect that I have is some of these guys actually private message me and tell me how bad they're doing. And then I look at the advice that they give out online, and it's like, yeah, but you're not even an authority to say anything because I know that on the back end you don't have any work.
Right.
So, and
Well, anyway, here's an idea, guys. One of the things, we actually had a completely different topic that I thought we were going to do, but we got on this because, let's face it, man,
it was fun.
I'm going through a bit of a gun nut stage right now.
Yeah.
But, which, by the way, I decided, for those of you who are interested, Glock 19. That'll be the next weapon of choice. No, Glock 17. I'm going to do the 17. So, but here's an idea that you can take and implement. We talk about this in a lot of detail in the Detailer Inner Circle, which you can find all about at
DetailerInnerCircle.com.
But you can still take this idea, at least I'm going to give you the skeleton of it. One of the things you might have noticed is that this last month, there's been a contest running to get a year of the Detailer Inner Circle for free. I'm sure by the time you listen to this podcast, it will already be over, so it's too late for that. But here's the idea behind doing contests correctly, because we talked about this with the detailers in the group, and some of them are running contests on Facebook, and they're like, hey, if you like my post, share it, and leave a comment. I'll enter you in the contest, and I'll give you a free detail if you win. The problem is you've got no way to follow up with those people. So here's the deal, guys. If you go to a trade show, car show, whatever, and you're like, hey, I need to get people's information, I'm going to run a contest for a free whatever it is. The mistake that I see people make is they'll do a contest for like a free iPad. Now, I know detailers aren't going to do that, but at a lot of trade shows that I go to, you'll see, get the free iPad if you enter here. The problem when you do that is, great, I get a list of a bunch of people who want an iPad.
Right.
If you're a detailer, you don't want people who want, a widget, a free dinner at Chick-fil-A, whatever.
Right.
You want people who want their car detailed.
Yep.
So the idea behind a contest is you could do a contest. Let's say your signature service is $150 for wash and wax. I don't know, is that about right, or is it
wash,
should be
clay,
lower?
wax? It's going to be all over the board, but 100, 150 wash,
All right.
wax, whatever.
Whatever it is, $100. I don't really care. It
You can
doesn't
just
really
say
matter.
$150 service, whatever that would mean to the detailer.
There you go. That could be another one. But I would actually be a little bit more specific in
Okay.
it and just be like, look, this is what it includes. Because, again, you're trying to sell the value of why they want to enter this contest. But here at the end of the day, what you want is a list of people who want that service. So I wouldn't do the whole, hey, comment on Facebook, like it, and share it, because that doesn't give you that person's contact info.
Right.
So on Facebook, you have something on your Facebook business page, your fan page, whatever you want to call it. It's called a form. And you can have people fill in the form, and ironically, Facebook will automatically fill it in for them with all their information. But you could say, hey, look, I'm giving away our signature service for $100, $150, whatever it is, to one free winner. Our contest is going to end on the 14th. By the way, this is void wherever it's prohibited. That's just one of those things that you put in there in case it's illegal to run contests in their area. That's how you protect yourself. And I'm not a lawyer, so don't take that as legal advice. Do your own research on that. But you go, look, if you enter this contest, I'm going to run this for 14 days, 21 days, 30 days, whatever it is, and we're going to have someone who's going to win it, and I'm going to give it to them for free. But what happens is, let's say you have 100 people enter that contest. One person, you give it away for free, but now you got a list of 99 other people who want that service that you do, that you just offered.
Yep.
And so a couple of things you can do. One of the things that I always like to do is you have a runner-up prize. So the runner-up prize could be, a $25 gift certificate valid for the next 30 days on your signature service. And you can say, hey, you know what, Jimbo Balaam, he just won the free service, but you were a runner-up winner. As a runner-up winner, you get this certificate, good for $25. off my signature service, and it's valid for the next 30 days. Go ahead and reach out to me whenever you'd like to take advantage of that. And what I would do is I would still follow up with everyone a good 2 or 3 times during that expiration period. And you'll be amazed at how many people will actually take you up on it. So if you had 100 people, you might get an extra 4 or 5 details out of it. But think about this. That's an extra $400 to $500 to you if you're charging $100. But you still got a list of people who still want their car detailed, but maybe now's not the right time. Reach back out to them.
Almost think that when running a contest, the runner-up prize is almost more important than the prize itself.
It's more important to us, no doubt.
Got it. Right.
Because that's how you get people into your funnel. So you do got to do the service for free for one person, but so what? You got all these people now in your funnel.
Right.
So that's the deal, man.
And you said that's an extra $400 or $500 of the people that take action
right now. That's
exactly, and that's what I was going to say. But if you get those people to spend money the first time, the chances, and maybe Pete, you have a stat on that, but the chances of them spending money with you again is even greater. So really, that list of 100 people is so invaluable. You're going to make, if you work it the right way, which we show you how to do.
In the detailerandercircle.com.
That list of only 100 people, which really doesn't seem that big.
Well, I'm just making up that number.
Right.
I mean,
could
you might
be
get
25
a lot more.
or it could be 50 or 200 or 400.
Right.
You know, it could be having that list of that pond to go fishing time after time after time is really valuable if you know how to do it.
And, but you also brought up the good point. Like, we've talked about this before. What's the average amount of times that people come back to you? You know, you said about 3 to 4 times a year. So it might be $400 or $500 this month, but really it's maybe $2,000 because they're going to come back 4 more times that year. And if you follow like what we tell you to do and what we call the 5-day cash machine, which you can find all about at detailerandercircle.com.
Correct.
You are going to turn more of those people into more business sooner and more often. And so, I mean, I've known people who constantly have some contest going on because it's doing what they want. So, since we started this whole conversation talking about the gun industry, I have been visiting everybody's gun website. And there are sites that, like, every week, they're like, hey, enter our contest for a free AR-15 lower. And I'm like, dude, I'm in. Now, the problem that they make is they don't know how to follow up, which we teach you all about in Detailer Inner Circle, because
they have a runner-up price?
No, of course not. They don't know what they're doing. But they're still running the contest.
So they're spinning their wheels.
They're doing it all wrong. So, and that's what we saw a lot in the Detailer Inner Circle. Guys were running contests. They just weren't doing it right. So we want you to do it the right way.
Right. And that's what I think one of the bigger issues that detailers and I myself got sucked into as well is not getting out in front of your marketing efforts, right? So you're constantly worried about, like, what work am I going to have today? What work am I going to have this week? What work am I going to have, early next week as I get into the tail end of this week? And it's like, you really have to get outside of that, like, and break that cycle, because that is a really difficult cycle to stay in, right? And it's really taxing because not only are you doing the physical work, but you're also doing the mental work of, like, where's my next client coming from? Right. So, like, that's what is really lucrative for me, is these marketing tips and tactics really help you get out in front of your marketing efforts and schedule. Really, because though you may be only scheduling for this week, you still want to get those calls coming in constantly. Right. So it really helps. You got to get out in front of your marketing. Did you see the Darth Vader Christmas?
Of course. Okay. I know my neighborhood.
I figured when you didn't even flinch when I pointed that.
R2-D2 and Darth Vader right there on the corner.
I was like, that white one and the black one, whatever.
You're like, I think he's Darth Vader. Such a disappointment.
Still don't like it.
I guess you're not going to go on opening night to see Star Wars?
I will definitely not be there.
I'll buy your ticket.
I won't be there. I wouldn't even waste a couple hours.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Anything else you want to add to that, Pete? Now that we're almost back home?
I just want to give you guys that idea as something that you can take and implement. Go get yourself some business. Come join us in the Detailer Inner Circle. Let us do your website. And By the way, you get the website for free when you join the Detailer.
A lot of confusion. We've hit that so many times, and there's still so much confusion. It is a free website when you join the Inner Circle. There's no add-ons. There's no nothing. We don't make it complicated. It's not. Maybe it's too straightforward.
Maybe. Here's the catch. If you want to know the catch, it's an extra $50 just for you. But you got to tell us, hey, Pete, you said there was a catch for $50. Here it is.
Now you can't say that because now it's going to confuse them.
Ah, well. If that confuses you, then maybe we don't want you in the Detailer Inner Circle. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Just check it out. DetailerInnerCircle.com.
Go.